Some men spend years trying to win a woman's heart. Flowers, dinners, endless compliments, only to be forgotten the moment she meets someone else. It's not because they weren't kind, loyal, or attentive. It's because they never learned the one thing that etches a man into a woman's memory, naming her in a way that no one else dares. A name that doesn't come from sweetness, but from strength. A word that doesn't just describe her, but claims a place for her in your world. Wisdom beyond 60, dear everyone. Today we're going to uncover why the right nickname can make a woman think about you long after you're gone, and why the wrong one makes you disappear from her mind like yesterday's news. You see, most men think nicknames are about being cute or romantic. They recycle the same tired pet names, babe, honey, princess, thinking they'll make her smile. But what they're really doing is stepping into a role she's seen before, a script she already knows by heart. There's nothing new to hold on to, nothing to unsettle her mind, nothing to make her stop and think, why did he call me that? If you want to stand out, you need to use a name that doesn't originate from trying to please her. It has to come from a place of identity, your identity. You're not here to be another chapter in her book. You're here to write the story, and if she wants to be in it, she'll have to learn your language. Imagine this, she's telling you about her day, her friends, her latest victory at work. She's in control of the conversation. Then you stop her for just a moment, meet her eyes and say, "Little renegade." You don't explain. You don't smile to soften it. You let the words hang in the air and then move on as if it's nothing. But it's not nothing. Not to her. Now in the back of her mind, questions start to swirl. Why that word? What did he see in me? What does that say about how he sees me? She can't neatly file it away because it doesn't match the category she's used to. And it's in that space between curiosity and confusion that obsession begins. The truth is, women don't fixate on what they fully understand. They fixate on what they can't quite define. A nickname with real power pulls her out of her own ego and plants her in your reality. It tells her, without you needing to spell it out, that you lead the interaction, that you set the tone, and that you don't need her approval to see her the way you choose. And here's the key. If the name comes from your authentic masculine center, she'll feel it. If it comes from insecurity or the need to win her over, she'll sense that too, and she'll discard it. So before you rush to find that special name, ask yourself, where is it coming from? Are you naming her from a place of need, hoping she'll like you more? Or from a place of choice because you know who you are and you know what you see in her? Only the second will leave a mark that lasts. This isn't about flattery, it's about leadership. And the man who knows how to name from his world is the man she can't forget. If you're ready to learn the rest of the 5 forbidden nicknames and how to use them, stay with me until the end. And if you want to support this channel so we can keep bringing you content that changes the way you think about relationships, hit that subscribe button now. Your engagement makes all the difference. Question: if you had to choose, which would make a deeper impact on a woman? A sweet nickname that makes her smile instantly. B, a powerful nickname that makes her curious and unsettled. Type A or B in the comments. I'm curious to see your thoughts. There's a part of attraction that most men never understand. And because of that, they never truly experience a woman surrendering to them. Not out of fear, not out of obligation, but out of pure desire. It's not something you can force, and it's not something you can beg for. It comes from the way you carry yourself, from the energy you radiate when you don't need her approval to lead. And one of the most subtle yet most powerful ways to awaken that instinct in her is with a nickname that doesn't just flatter, but quietly dominates. The female mind reacts deeply to contradiction. On one hand, she wants to be seen, acknowledged, set apart. On the other, she craves to feel claimed, not in a crude or forceful way, but in a way that tells her she's with someone who sets the tone, someone who doesn't ask for permission to define the space between you. When you give her a name that holds both of these elements, recognition and direction, you create a tension she can't resolve. And that tension is exactly what draws her in. Think of it like this. You're not calling her something sweet that could come from anyone. You're giving her a name that exists only between the two of you, one that hints at an unspoken dynamic. It could be my little storm, wild fox, or pretty witch. It doesn't insult her, it doesn't reduce her, it intrigues her. It suggests something untamed, something you see in her that she might not even fully own. And the moment you say it, without over-explaining, her subconscious starts working. She begins to wonder, why that? What does it mean to him? What does he see in me? That curiosity feeds desire. In psychology, this is sometimes called a dominant frame, not in the sense of shouting orders or pushing your will, but in the way your presence naturally sets the direction. A man who embodies this doesn't need to demand. His confidence and clarity create an atmosphere where following his lead feels natural. The nickname becomes a symbol of that atmosphere, a private code that only you control. This is why most men fail when they try to use nicknames. They aim to please. They pick something safe, something cute, something they think will make her melt. But melting isn't the goal here. Igniting is. When a woman feels that subtle pressure of being guided, when she senses you see a part of her others miss, she begins to respond from a deeper, more instinctual place. She doesn't consciously choose to lean in. Her body and emotions do it for her. And here's the most important part. This only works if the nickname is rooted in your genuine perception of her. If it's a mask you're wearing to play some role, she'll feel the mismatch immediately. Authenticity is non-negotiable. The power isn't in the word itself, it's in the energy behind it, the certainty with which you use it. So when you think about the name you might give her, ask yourself, does it simply make her feel good in the moment? Or does it place her in a space where you are leading, where she's drawn toward you without quite knowing why? Because the second one is where desire lives. And if you master that, you'll stop chasing her attention and start commanding it without ever having to raise your voice. That's when a name becomes more than a word, it becomes a key. And once you hold that key, you don't need to knock. There's a delicate game that happens in a woman's mind when she feels chosen, but not entirely secure in that choice. It's not about making her feel unwanted. That kills attraction. It's about making her feel that her place with you is valuable enough that she wants to protect it. This is where the third type of nickname comes in, and it works because it plays at the edge of certainty. It reminds her, without saying it outright, that she's not automatically the center of your world, but she could be if she continues to inspire you. Most men go wrong here by making their attention too certain, too predictable. They smother her with reassurance, thinking it will make her feel safe and loved. But the truth is, the female psyche doesn't obsess over what it already possesses. It obsesses over what it's afraid to lose. When you give her a nickname that could, on the surface, be said to anyone, but carries a different weight when you say it to her, you create that space. That ambiguity plants a question in her mind. Is this just for me, or could he call someone else that? And that question is where her curiosity begins to burn. Picture this. You're sitting across from her. The conversation is light, maybe even playful. You tilt your head, smirk just slightly, and call her my little storm. It's not romantic in the conventional sense. It's not sweet like baby or darling. It's something else, charged, unusual, undefined. When she inevitably asks why, you don't explain. You let the silence do the work. And now she's thinking about it long after the moment has passed. What does he mean? Why me? Does it mean I'm special, or does it mean he sees something in me I haven't shown him yet? This is the art of controlled ambiguity. You're not playing games for the sake of manipulation. You're holding your ground as a man who doesn't hand over all his cards. You allow her to lean toward you, to want to understand you, to earn a place where she knows the meaning behind the name. In psychology, this is tied to what's known as emotional dissonance, the state of wanting certainty, but not having it. When done with intention, it pulls her closer rather than pushing her away, because the curiosity outweighs the discomfort. The key is balance. If you lean too far into uncertainty, she feels unsafe and may pull back. If you remove all uncertainty, the fire dims and she stops chasing. The right nickname in this context is like a spark. You strike it and then let it smolder. You don't fan it desperately and you don't let it die. You give her just enough to want more. Remember, you are not trying to convince her that she's replaceable. You are showing her through your composure and your choice of words that you are a man with standards, a man who chooses carefully. And when she feels she is chosen, not out of need, but out of want, it makes her investment in you deeper. This is why the third forbidden nickname works so powerfully. It's not just a word, it's a mirror you hold up that makes her see herself differently and makes her want to secure her reflection in your eyes. If you master this, you won't have to compete for her attention. She'll be too busy competing for yours. There's a part of a woman you'll never see if you only engage with the version she shows the world. That version is polished, controlled, and rehearsed, built to survive and to impress. But beneath it lies something far more real. The vulnerable core she hides even from herself. The fourth forbidden nickname works because it bypasses the surface and speaks directly to that hidden place. It doesn't celebrate the image she's worked to create. It acknowledges the crack in the armor, the unguarded truth she keeps locked away. Most men are too afraid to go there. They either stay on the surface, feeding her compliments that bounce right off the walls she's built, or they try to dig too aggressively, breaking trust instead of building it. But a man with presence, patience, and awareness doesn't need to tear those walls down. He finds the one small opening and speaks into it. And he does it with a name. This kind of nickname is not playful in the traditional sense. It carries weight. It blends subtle strength with just enough tenderness to let her know she's been seen, not the version she performs, but the one she keeps hidden. It could be something like, my little guarded one, hidden treasure, or fragile flame. These words don't mock her, they don't pity her, and they certainly don't expose her recklessly. They let her feel, maybe for the first time in a long time, that someone notices what she's been holding in the dark. When you name her in this way, her reaction isn't the immediate rush of flirtation, it's a pause. A moment where her mind and body both register, he saw that. And once she realizes you've noticed the part of her she's tried to protect, her usual defenses start to loosen. She begins to see you as someone who can handle her truth without exploiting it. That is rare, and it's powerful. The danger here is in using this carelessly. Touching a wound, even gently, creates an opening. If you don't intend to stay present, if you don't have the maturity to handle what might come out, you risk leaving her more exposed than before. This is not a technique for quick attraction. It's a tool for creating a depth of connection that most men will never experience. That's why it requires you to be anchored in your own center, not looking to her for validation or control. Psychologically, this approach resonates because it communicates, without explanation, I don't need you to be perfect. I value what's real. For a woman who's been carrying the weight of always being strong, independent, and unshakable, hearing that is disarming. It invites her to rest, even if just for a moment, in the presence of someone who isn't asking her to perform. And here's the paradox. When you can see her flaws without losing respect for her, you actually increase her respect for you. You stop being another admirer who only values the polished surface. You become the man who can witness her unfiltered self and still hold the frame steady. That is unforgettable. So if you choose to use a nickname that touches this deeper layer, let it be intentional. Let it come from genuine recognition, not manipulation. Let it serve as a reminder that you're not just interacting with her image, you're engaging with her essence. Done with care, this kind of naming doesn't just make her feel seen, it makes her feel claimed in the most human way possible. And when a woman feels both safe and claimed, she doesn't forget the man who gave her that gift. The fifth and final forbidden nickname is the one that does not describe who she is now, but who you see her becoming. It's the name that plants a seed in her mind of the woman she could grow into when she's with you. This is not about fantasy or flattery, it's about vision. Most people, men and women alike, are trapped in the identity they've been repeating for years. They live inside labels given to them by family, friends, or even themselves. And while those labels feel safe, they also limit them. When you give her a name that reflects not her current patterns, but the higher, more vibrant version of herself, you're doing something rare. You're saying, I see more in you than you see right now. That's a powerful message, because very few people look at us and imagine us beyond our present selves. For a woman, to have a man carry that vision without forcing it, without demanding she change instantly, is intoxicating. It tells her you are not confined by her past or her present. You are relating to her potential. This kind of naming is forward-leaning. It speaks to her aspirations, her hidden desires, the qualities she wishes she had the courage to express. You might call her my fearless one, even if she's still learning to take risks, or my queen, even if she's still stepping into her own authority. The point is not to ignore who she is now, but to frame her in a way that draws out the best in her. Humans tend to rise to the identity they believe someone they respect holds for them. That's why this works. It creates a magnetic pull toward growth. But here's the thing, this nickname can't be empty. If you don't truly believe in that vision for her, she will feel it. Women have an instinct for detecting when words are hollow, when they are used just to gain favor. The energy behind the name matters more than the syllables themselves. You must be able to see her with that identity, not as a project you want to fix, but as someone already carrying the seeds of greatness within her. In relationships, we often either accept people exactly as they are and never push them forward, or we try to change them in ways that feel controlling. This is different. This is about recognition without pressure, belief without demand. You give her the space to grow into the name at her own pace, knowing that she will feel drawn toward becoming that person because it resonates deep inside her. Psychologically, this plays into a principle of identity reinforcement. When a trusted voice speaks to us as if we already are who we want to be, our mind starts to align our actions with that identity. For her, that means she will start to act, speak, and carry herself in ways that match the name you've given her. Over time, the name ceases to be symbolic. It becomes true. The caution here is in the responsibility it carries. If you plant a vision in her, you cannot abandon it halfway. You have to remain consistent in treating her as that future self, even when she falls back into old habits. Your steadiness is what makes the vision believable. Without it, the name loses its power and can even feel like a betrayal. Done well, this is the most profound form of naming. It's not just about connection in the present. It's about creating a shared future in her mind. And when a woman feels that her best self emerges in your presence, she will crave that presence. The nickname becomes more than a word. It becomes a mirror showing her who she's capable of being. And once she's seen herself through that lens, it's nearly impossible for her to forget it, or the man who gave her that reflection. When we look back at all 5 of these forbidden nicknames, a clear truth emerges. The words we choose to speak into someone's life can shape their emotions, their confidence, and even the way they see themselves. These nicknames are not just playful labels. They are tools of connection, trust, and influence. Whether they awaken vulnerability, spark desire, remind someone of their unique place in your life, or call them into the best version of themselves, each one carries a weight that goes far beyond the surface. This is why they must be used with intention. Careless words can cut deep, but words chosen with love and awareness can open doors to emotional closeness that many people never experience. For many, relationships lose their magic over time, not because the love disappears, but because the language becomes ordinary. We forget to speak in ways that inspire, uplift, and affirm. We rely on routine greetings, the safe conversations, and predictable expressions, and before long, the spark fades. These nicknames are a reminder that language can be a daily source of renewal, a quiet force that keeps attraction alive and intimacy growing. They invite you to see your partner with fresh eyes, to notice more than the obvious, and to communicate that vision through something as simple as a name. But here's the deeper layer. The true power of these nicknames doesn't come from cleverness or charm. It comes from sincerity. If the name doesn't reflect what you genuinely feel or believe about her, it will sound hollow, and its effect will vanish. Authenticity is the foundation. That means paying attention to who she is, what she needs, and what she dreams of, and then letting your words be an honest reflection of that understanding. This isn't just about romance either. The principle applies to friendships, family, even the way we speak to ourselves. Names and labels carry energy. They can lift us up or weigh us down. If you start to intentionally speak words that affirm the best in the people you care about, you'll see subtle but powerful changes in how they respond to you and in how they see themselves. The lesson here is simple but profound. Be mindful of the language you use, especially with those closest to you. Words are not just sounds, they are seeds. Plant them with care, and you may be surprised at the beauty they grow into. Life lesson: speak to the highest version of the people you love, not just to the version you see today. Give them words that feel like a warm hand on their back, guiding them forward. And remember, consistency matters. A single kind word can brighten a moment, but a steady stream of them can transform a life. Application: starting today, choose one person in your life and give them a nickname or expression that reflects something beautiful, strong, or admirable about them. Use it often and watch how it begins to shift their energy and your connection. Question for the audience: if you could give your partner or closest friend one uplifting nickname starting today, would it be A, something that celebrates who they are now, or B, something that reflects who they could become? Share your answer in the comments so we can all learn from each other's perspectives. Call to action: if you found this message meaningful and inspiring, please consider subscribing to Beyond 60 Wisdom. Leave a comment with your thoughts. We value your voice and want to create the best content for you. Let's share and connect every day, giving each other the motivation to live fuller, richer lives. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for being part of this community. You are the reason we create, and your support gives us the energy to keep going.